If you've got thyroid disease and you're still fighting hair loss, fatigue, or brain fog, despite having normal labs, I want you to check one number, and that's your ferritin. Now, most labs say that 15 or 20 is the lower limit of normal. But if you've got thyroid disease, that can be an empty tank. My name is Dr. Christianson. I'm a board certified endocrinologist with 30 years' experience in treating thyroid disease naturally. Here's the thing, I've seen that my patients don't feel well until ferritin levels get over 50. And other published studies have shown that that's a real thing as well. If you're stuck below that, the problem isn't you, it's your iron. Today, I'm going to show you why your iron supplement may be failing you and the exact protocol that I use to fix it. Here's the thing, iron in high doses can cause stomach side effects. There's no way around that. Well, there are some tricks I'll talk about that can often help. But what's happened is that many companies, they try to prevent the side effects by making iron so low potency that it just doesn't ends up not working. Most liquid iron products or iron bisglycinate capsules, they've only got about like 5 to 25 milligrams of iron. That's really not enough to change your levels when you're low. We'll also see other products that have iron found from liver or from animal products. This is a very bioavailable version of iron, but the amounts of it are often so small it's not relevant. There's been a lot of clinical data done on how to replace iron when someone's lacking in that. And the data shows really clearly you need at least 100 milligrams of elemental iron to move the needle. Now, when you're looking at a product, it'll tell you how much of the iron complex is there, but it may be in the fine print how much elemental iron is there. And it might even be talking about per serving. A serving may not be a capsule, so you got to do some digging and look at that a little bit. But if you're starting with a ferritin of something like, say 20 or so, those tinier doses, they'll never get you caught up. And here's the thing, ferritin is one of several iron markers, and it does take reading them in full context to make good sense of this. There are times to where ferritin is high only from inflammation, not from iron overload. And there's time where ferritin is low, not from iron deficit. So it's critical to work with a practitioner for a good detailed diagnosis. If you are like most people, ferritin is an earlier indicator of your overall iron status and a good goal for that. So why does this matter? Well, think about iron like a spark plug for a couple of really important processes. You think about testing your thyroid antibodies, and there's the thyroid peroxidase antibodies that we test for. Well, that's an enzyme. So TPO is an enzyme needed to make thyroid hormones, and it's a heme-dependent enzyme. That means if iron is low, it can't work, your body can't make thyroid hormones properly. The next big step is conversion. Iron is part of the process of converting thyroid hormones. We hear about T4 to T3, totally important, but there are literally dozens of other conversion steps going on in different parts of your body, and adequate iron is critical for all of those. Now, when your iron levels are below optimal, it can be critical to figure out why. If you're a woman with heavy menstrual cycles, it's not really a mystery. Otherwise, though, it's good to sort that out. There can be some reasons for malabsorption, there could be some reasons for blood loss, and they're critical to be clear on. Once you're clear on that, however, it's still important to raise iron to feel your best. And raising iron, we think about three big things. There's dietary, oral, and intravenous. And finally, last, transfusion. Dietary iron, it's good. It's good to have a wide range of healthy foods. Some of those should have iron, but the amounts we get from the diet are adequate for most people to maintain iron status. But the problem is that in many cases, they don't work to reverse iron deficiencies. That's where oral iron comes in. Now, there are cases to where the levels are so low, oral does not work. But I would argue that in many of those cases, people just aren't using oral forms that work. When it doesn't work, then we think about IV iron or transfusions. Those things I won't go into in depth because they're not relevant for most people. Now, when I wrote the Thyroid Reset Diet, I saw a lot of clinical studies about ways in which nutrients could be differently used by people with thyroid disease. And a lot of that data came down to thyroid function and iron levels. Now, many with thyroid disease have problems with their parietal cells. They have a hard time making appropriate amounts of stomach acid. And it's not really just raising acid that helps, because that can actually raise the risk for some cancers, but we've got to work around that. So there's data on iron specifically saying that when there's too little acid, iron can't absorb when it's used in common ways. So I saw the data on how certain forms of iron worked better than others, how certain cofactors helped it absorb better, and other cofactors made it less apt to cause side effects. and I called the blend Easy Iron. And easy because it works better and also because it's easier on the system. So a couple of differences about it. I used ferrous fumarate. This is the kind of iron we find in plant foods, and I used a high enough concentration to be therapeutic. Now, some of the cofactors, there's a lot of data about vitamin C helping iron. It actually works better when they're together in the capsule. A backup is to have some vitamin C separately or in a meal, but when it's already mixed with the iron, it's going to be the most effective at lowering the oxidative stress. There's also data about bioperine. This is pretty cool. This is a type of extract from long pepper, a cousin of good old table black pepper. This has been shown to help reverse anemia faster. And then there's also data about citric acid. So this is something to where its effects were often conflated with those of vitamin C because many sources of vitamin C have citric acid, but it works in ways that are complementary. So citric acid being there simply helps it get into the intestinal tract more easily. The same dose can be about 4 times more effective with that combination. And here's a cool workaround as well. So if you're taking a good version of iron like Easy Iron and it still bothers your stomach when you take enough to be helpful, you can try doing it every other day. This is kind of weird, but you make hepcidin as part of the process for iron absorption. It actually blocks the absorption of iron for about a day and a half. So if you get a lot of it in your system, you don't absorb iron, and the iron you're not absorbing ends up causing the side effects. Well, the easy trick there is to take it every other day, and that allows hepcidin to drop back down again. You get better absorption, less irritation. Now, you would think every other day would mean half as much gets into your body, but it's not the case. Because of that timing, you absorb pretty much the same amount, and the rate of irritation is much, much lower. So who does this not apply to? A lot of folks just don't need iron. In most cases, men, not menstruating, aren't losing enough to cause a problem, unless there are some other ways that they're getting blood loss. Women who are not menstruating may not be low in that also. Many have higher levels of ferritin. Now, that doesn't always mean iron excess. It can mean inflammation, but in any case, it means iron is not necessary. So here's the thing. If you do need iron, be aware of that, and don't guess with the gentle iron products because they're often too gentle to be helpful. Give your thyroid what it needs. There's good data about iron being helpful, and there's a great amount of information about forms being more effective than others. So that's it. Dr. Alan Christianson here with you, and just trying to translate good science into safe, natural ways you can feel better and help improve your thyroid.